Hi, besties. Oh my gosh. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been such a long time, and a lot of things have been happening. A lot of things have been happening. But today in specific, I wanted to get on YouTube because the thing that I want to talk about, short form, just absolutely cannot encapsulate it, cannot do it any justice. And I needed to record a long form video. I contemplated writing about it, but even that feels like it's not suited for it, like in the moment. So yeah, so what I want to talk about is Bangalore. I It'll make sense, stay with me. Okay, so I was out with my friend, a really good friend, today, and as usual we were in South Bangalore and we were roaming about, and in one of my favorite areas in Bangalore. Okay, if you know, you know. And we were moving around, and for some reason, today in specific, the streets in this particular area were super empty. It was really quiet. Okay, initially, both of us were like, "What is going on?" And like, this just feels so eerie, and it feels like weird because we're so used to like traffic and noise and everything just being so fast paced and people just moving about like at all times. But then it started to feel so deeply nostalgic to the point where I was like, babe, like this reminds me of what Bangalore used to be even just 10 years ago. Quiet streets, that typical chilly night air, and people just, slowly walking back to their homes. And there was that sense of like calm. There was that sense of like life needing to not be rushed at all times, right? And I feel like it hit me like a truck just how much I love this city, how much this city has given me, has seen me. And this is especially because I'm someone who has lived her entire life in Bangalore. I'm born and brought up in this city. Um, I have done my schooling here, I've done my college here, I work here. I have traveled a lot outside of the city, but Bangalore has always been home to the point where it has seen me through all of my heartbreaks. Every single one of them. The same area that I love so much. I've experienced some of my worst heartbreaks as a teenager. And I've repaired my relationship with that area, have, rebuilt my relationship with it. And it reminds me so much. I feel like it feels like I'm in a long-term relationship with the city, the way that you're in a long-term relationship with a partner, you know and just like how when you deeply and romantically love someone so much and you have your ups and downs with them, right? And there are times where you want, if you feel like, oh, I want a change of pace, and I want someone new, and you feel like you need to like, immediately act on it and do something about it, which is not wrong. But then there arises a point in that long-term relationship where you start falling in love with the things that you initially fell in love with about that person. And I feel like that's happening to me in stages with this city. And it's such a deeply intimate and such a personal and such a heartwarming feeling. And I felt a version of that today. It reminded me so much just being, out at night in those streets, at the back of the scooter with my friend. And both of us are just reminiscing how much the city has been our rock through everything, especially for me, right? I felt like I was that 17-year-old college kid again who, he was staying out late after like classes are done. And most of the time I was on a rush back home, so that I did not like miss my curfew. And I had all of these wild dreams about who I want to be when I grow up, what kind of an adult I want to be, all of the different things that I'm going to do with my life. And the air was different back then. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, the air was just so different a decade ago. it felt like our problems were so big, but also it was half of what it feels like right now. You know, it felt like there was physically so much space to breathe in while you're out and about in the city just doing your daily chores. It felt like it was mine. Like today, it felt like the streets of Bangalore were mine again, in the most intimate sense, right? It felt like, I don't know, it just felt like such a full circle moment, because there have been so many points where I felt, you know, a, a little weird and embarrassed about the fact that I still live in Bangalore. I haven't like gone out and like lived out on my own, and I know that I want to do those things. But today, for some reason, it just felt deeply, I felt like I unlocked a new layer of my relationship with a city, similar to how you unlock a depth in your relationship with a person when you really deeply love someone and you revisit the parts of them that remind you why you first fell in love with them. That's what it felt like today. Just, and especially, I've been feeling so confused and conflicted about my place in this world, right? We live in such tumultuous times right now where everything just feels so uncertain. Everything feels like you're consuming it before you've even formed a thought about it. Your opinions are constantly being thrown at your face and like shoved down your throats before you can even contemplate the first lines of what is being told to you, right? With social media, with news, everything. There's so many things happening in the world with AI, with the different kind of grievances across the country. Like so many things are, so many illusions are shattering. So much of what we thought we could hold on to no longer feels stable enough to like rely on and depend on, including our own sense of identity that we've built so far, right? And I've been feeling so lost that way, trying to figure out my place in this extremely bizarre world that we live in right now, where, when books are being like, what do you say, like discarded, like used and discarded and thrown away like they mean nothing. Like like those AI models just reading about those books and cutting down their spines and discarding them. It feels like that's being done to our identities right now. Our sense of who we are is being attacked so deeply every single day, and it feels like there's no right answer. It feels like anything that you land on is the wrong path or the wrong idea or the wrong vision. And while it's very important to constantly keep questioning these things, constantly keep contemplating on them, at the same time, the overstimulation is higher than it has been ever before. So to have the moment that I did today, to just pause, to just become aware of underneath all of this still lies a space that has always been home. The city has always been home. Is such a special feeling. Is such a balm in these times, you know. To suddenly realize that no matter how much my life has changed, underneath all of this, there is still the soul of this place that I love so much and I've grown up in and has seen me through so much, still have a heartbeat. That she's still alive, that she's still somewhere there. And I could access that for a moment there in those quiet streets, in that chilly night air, on the back of my friend's scooter. And it felt like such an anchor in that moment, that maybe underneath everything that we're experiencing right now, collectively, globally, individually, underneath all of that, our humanness is still waiting for us to just reach out. It's still preserved, that we cannot ever entirely eradicate that. I would still like to hold on to that. So, yeah, that's all I had to share.